Welcome, Science Explorers. This is your lead scientist, Miss Shirley. Today's lesson is What are glaciers? In today's lesson, you'll learn the following. What are glaciers and valleys? What kind of land and water erosion occurs in Glacier National Park? You will explore what glaciers are and how they change the shape of the land. You will also learn that maps and models can be used to represent land and water features in an area. And you will also observe how water runs downhill and how glaciers move and cause erosion. In our last lesson, you explored how water can crack rock and change the way the land looks through weathering and erosion. How water can make these changes over a period of time, and that there are different ways to prevent or slow water from changing the shape of rock. Let's introduce some words we need to learn for this lesson. Glacier is a large body of ice and snow. It forms because the snow in the area does not melt in summer. Map, a drawing or plan in outline of any part of it, the surface of the earth, with various features shown, usually roads, rivers, seas, and towns. Okay, science explorers, we're going to learn more about glaciers, investigate, and explore some questions about it. Let's watch this video.
Glaciers are also called slow-moving rivers of ice. Most common in the polar regions of the Arctic and Antarctic. Glaciers can be found in the mountains of every continent except Australia. Glaciers form in places where snow accumulates over time. It takes decades or even centuries for glaciers to form. As the snow deepens, the weight and pressure of the snow on top compresses the lower layers into ice. The weight of the glacier plus the force of gravity will gradually cause the glacier to move downhill. Most glaciers move very slowly, only about 160 feet or 50 meters per year, but some move as fast as 100 feet or 30 meters per day. Glaciers are powerful. They can carve huge chunks out of mountains as they move downhill. Because of this, they are sometimes called nature's bulldozers. Like bulldozers, they shape the land as they pass over it, but they do this in several ways. First, glaciers pick up any material lying on the ground beneath where the snow accumulates. Water beneath the glacier soaks into cracks in the rock below. As the water freezes, it forces the cracks wider and breaks off pieces of rock. This is called freeze-thaw weathering. As the glacier flows downhill, it takes these loose pieces with it. This is called erosion. These rocks and stones scrape along the glacier bed like sandpaper, taking more rocks and stones with them. The ground beneath it becomes smooth as the glacier moves over it. This is called abrasion. The glacier transports the eroded material downhill with it. Sometimes you can see dirt and rocks in a glacier, which will give it a dirty appearance. Once the glacier flows far enough downhill that temperatures are warmer, it begins to melt. Anything that can't melt, like rocks, stones, sand, and clay, is deposited or left behind as glacial till. The ice turns into meltwater and flows farther downhill to join a lake, stream, or ocean. If a glacier reaches a body of water, pieces of it may break off and fall into the water, forming icebergs. Glaciers are only found in very cold parts of the Earth, but during the last ice age they could be found in parts of the world that are much warmer now. Even though the ice is melted now, the landforms created by the movement of ancient glaciers can still be seen today. Glaciers can create lakes, valleys, and other landforms, and are the largest source of fresh water in the world. As they move, glaciers change the shape of the Earth, making them one of the most dynamic natural features on the planet.
Okay, science explorers, let's learn more about glaciers. The natural landscape changes shape and appearance due to Earth's events that occur quickly or slowly. Glaciers are frozen forms of water, and they can erode sediment to change the way the land looks. These changes are explored in a tour of America's national parks, including Glacier National Park. How do glaciers cause erosion? Think, 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 science explorers, write your response. Glacier National Park is dominated by mountains which were carved into their present shape by the huge glacier of the last ice age. And evidence of this widespread glacier action is found throughout the park in the form of a U-shaped valleys in cirques and arides and large outflow lakes radiating like fingers from the base of the highest peaks. So what did you learn about Glacier National Park? Think, 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 science explorers, write your response. Glaciers form from snow that doesn't melt, even during the summer. When enough snow builds up, the weight of the snow will compress and turn into solid ice. It can take hundreds of years for a large glacier to form. What did we learn about glaciers? Think, 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 science explorers, write your response. And a glacier is a large body of ice and snow. It forms because the snow in the area does not melt in the summer. Each winter, more snow is added. The weight of all the snow creates pressure, and this pressure turns the lowest parts of the snow into ice. After this happens for many years, the glacier will start growing large. It becomes so heavy that the gravity causes the ice to move. It flows downward like the water, but very slowly. New snowfalls replace the parts that flow away. What happens to glaciers in the summer and winter? Think, think, think. Science explorers, write your response. Have you ever used a map before? If so, what have you used a map to find? Think, think, think. Science explorers, write your response. And glaciers are very important. They have a large effect on the environment. They do this because they are very large and heavy. When they move, they erode mountains and lands. How can glaciers affect the environment? Think, think, think. Science explorers, write your response. Finally, what did you think of today's lesson? Okay, science explorers, today we learned about glaciers. Until next time, ciao for now.